Waffle Wars is a strategy board game that combines capturing, blocking, and connect to win gameplay. It originated as a high school art project but was turned into a game. People loved the game, so we decided to expand on it and make it publicly available. As mentioned, the first version of Waffle Wars was an art project that was made out of clay. After the art project was shown to the group, we jokingly started creating rules and making it a game out of it. It wasn't long before it became a staple of our group, and we continued to advance the concept every time we played. The more we played, the more we thought of it as a real game, which is where the idea to mass produce the game got started. Eventually, we decided to start the process of actually making Waffle Wars go from an art project to a real game. This started with figuring out how to make the game using simpler and more durable materials than clay. We all agreed 3D printing would be the best way, so the process of creating a prototype began. In order to 3D print the game, we first needed to make 3D models of the board in pieces. The first 3D model and the most complex was the waffle board. As you can see through the progression pictures on screen, it all started with a flat circle and was built from that to the waffle board. Step by step, it started to look better and better as it became more complete, and while it may look like we accomplished this swiftly, it took a lot longer than you would think. This is mostly because of all the intricacies of the board, including making sure everything was symmetrical, finding the perfect size for each component, and finding the optimized overall size. Eventually, the waffle board 3D model was complete, and from there we moved on to creating the topping game pieces. The original game pieces were just the strawberries and blueberries, so those were the two models we made to start. Once we had the 3D models for the board game in pieces complete, we 3D printed the prototype. As you can see, it resembles a waffle and the pieces look somewhat like strawberries and blueberries. But these were just prototypes, and they had many imperfections that we ended up working on shortly after the prototype was printed. Once we had all the kinks worked out, we bought some waffle color filament to print the first actual game. As you can see, it looks much more like a waffle, and when we had the process of making the game figured out, we moved on to creating the online version. We started by purchasing the WaffleWars.com domain, and following that, the process of coding and building the website from scratch began. First came designing the website, which included the menus, home screens, modes, and the game menu screen. Next, each space on the waffle had to be marked out and coded so that pieces could be placed in them. Eventually, it was at the point where we got the mechanics of the game to work with just X's and O's as test pieces, so all we had left to do was add the actual pieces onto the website, and it was finished. However, there can always be improvements to websites, so we still occasionally improve and add things to improve the site and the overall experience. If you want to check out the online version, you can play it on WaffleWars.com. At this point, the game was a part of our everyday lives, and while we hadn't advanced to the point of mass producing it, we took it everywhere with us since it's designed to be portable and easy for on-the-go use, which is one of the best parts about Waffle Wars. We played it in class, at lunch, on our senior trip, at Waffle House, which is our favorite place we've played so far, at events, and even in the pool. Side note, yes, it does float in water, so as long as it's not too wavy, the game is playable in water. Eventually, we reached the point where we started printing copies of the game for our families and friends to not only test the process of making copies of the game, but also get community feedback to further improve it. On top of the printing and improving the base version of the game, some of us in the group mocked up and brought to life alternative versions of Waffle Wars, including the expanded version and a metal version. In case you were wondering, no, the alternate version will not be available for purchase right away, but we do have plans for alternate versions in the future. Which brings us to the present time. Waffle Wars has been a pivotal project in our lives over the past year and a half, and we are thrilled to finally release the game for everybody to experience and hopefully enjoy as much as we have. Feel free to show us your Waffle Wars adventures by tagging us on any social media platform at Waffle Wars Official. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave a comment on the video or on any of our other socials. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy playing.